Welcome y'all to the meeting. I see some replays. I don't know anybody, anyways. But okay. This is the January 18th actual special call meeting because of the change of date of the meeting of the new city council. And excuse me. And I want to welcome everybody here with you. You know, get that, I have it in front of me, and I'll try the best I can with this. First, follow up, start with a prayer and pledge of allegiance. Let's pray. I did have a lot of technical lines to come together here to help our city grow. Thank you for the blessings of the day. Help us make a lot of decisions about the city. Yes, amen. Father, stand for prayer. Attention, salute, pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible.
Does anybody want to make any comments before we start the city part of the meeting? Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to say, just remember that the unexpected can happen at any time. We have to keep moving forward because we need to make things better for everyone, even if we can't please or satisfy everyone. Integrity is very important in anyone's life. Please don't try to mislead people in life. All of us need to be honest about the challenges before us. The wise are quick to listen and slow to speak. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Having continual joy at heart, we must always be grateful for the opportunity to help others more than ourselves. Please keep a positive attitude even when things don't go the way you hope, and pray that they will go. I chose not to be burdened down with disappointment. I have high expectations of blessings ahead. There are blessings ahead that other people can't prevent from happening. Just remember that we can overcome the opposition. We have got to understand that we have many resources available to us. Please don't discount yourself. Stop sitting on the sidelines and stop telling yourself that things are impossible for you to do. We can't afford to be just average. We have to do things that we have never done before. Experience new things. Engage in opportunities that will open our eyes to new ways of doing things. There are times when we have to get over our feelings and the facts at hand and keep believing that sooner or later things will change. Please be careful of what you thirst after in your life. Be very thirsty for a better future for your community, yourself, and your children. Your community, and yourself and your children. Let's be aware of our attitude and how it can contribute to our behavior and character. There are times when we may have to have new and different people in our lives who can give us a fresh perspective. Two people can look at the same thing and come away with different opinions. We can see the water in the glass. Some can say it's half full, others can say it's half empty. How full your glass is will depend on the vision you have for yourself and others. Fill your glass with a vision of integrity, honesty, hope, and desire to put others before self, and your glass will be full to overflowing all the time. May God bless and keep us under His perspective and guidance. But the question still remains, what do we need to do for it to make it serve the purpose that we need? Thank you.
Anyone else want to say something?
I just have a comment.
I'm sorry.
I don't know, in looking at the agenda, I made it to listen to it here, but, no connection with Mayor. He would like to deny that too, I'm sure. But anyway, I have a concern that we move so fast with this correction thing. The officer now is requesting the body cam and then all the recording. Are we to the point that we need all that? I think that we need to move slowly and be deliberate in things that we're doing. And then on the agenda, there's a correctional officer. Is that another position to hire? I mean, I'm just asking, I don't know. But I know that court systems can be very, very expensive. They can cause people to be alienated with the government and different things. And I think we need to be real clear in how we're proceeding and not to proceed so fast and with such expense. See if we need it first. It's my comments. Thank you so much for your time.
We'll address that a little bit later. Anybody else?
How you doing, public, but keep moving forward. You know, need them raggedy house tore down park. But, I would like to, meet in the application whenever you get it for any commission.
They filled it up, Dennis?
There's plenty up front.
They weren't the other day when I was there.
Okay, the, Doug Forrest, is he required to drive that truck home?
Don't know the answer to that. I think we're going to address that in the committee.
Okay. On the, ban and all that, about the, prisoners, can't y'all take into consideration, maybe you could hire a couple more extra employees?
We'll update you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? All right, yes, I guess, folks, yeah, we got y'all in one, don't we? Question about that too. Somebody get the yellow?
Yeah, if you need.
I need that one.
That's what's. Yeah, I understand what it, I didn't have a chance to ask for it. We have one, y'all one. But that's two people, that's what it was last month. We'll have to get the other, y'all want, District One, we have Benita Clanton and Rocky Mountain Trail. District Two, April Kustra on Blue Island Circle. District Four, got Preston Mason and Orchard Bend Drive. District Five, Cook Adams on Home Highway. We'll get the other one. Not, you know, later, we'll post on the sign. Let's get that. I did, didn't I? I skipped one. Thank you. Everybody think, right thing? The special call meeting and also the council meeting. Everybody gave questions about the minutes, or you want to do it? You want to make any changes to the minutes? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve it.
Motion by Martin Smith, and a second by Gene Brennan, to approve the minutes as read, but not read, as written. Any other discussion about the minutes? If all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Minutes are approved. Last meeting. Now, I'm in this, sorry. Gotta hit myself. My time's up.
Perfect time. You want to go ahead and start with the current condition? So, you know, we report, seems like only yesterday when the University of Georgia beat snot out of Alabama. But anyway, that was last Monday, so, and surprisingly to everybody in the room, not much has changed. Bank balances remain over $5 million. P&L remains constant. But here is some good news, and we can be short about this. So, you know, SPLOST runs several months behind. And we've seen an uptick in SPLOST, far more than what we anticipated, as well as lost revenue. We were over $12,000 up over the same time last year for the same period. And that's a, you know, so the example I give you is 54,000. We collected 41,000. Not in comparison to our friends at Gainesville and all the monies they bring. Man, that's a big deal. You know, I mean, that's 20% increase. So, Mr. Mayor, I didn't have much more to say on that, but we do have some items that we talked about last week. The budget adjustment for the invoice for the land appraisals for Maiden Lane and for Carter Alley. We'd ask the council to take a motion to approve $9,100.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Hammond to approve the budget adjustment. Second. Darren Smith, second. Any more discussion about it? Anybody know what we're talking about? All in favor, say aye.
Next item, Mr. Mayor, was budget adjustment invoice for Hall County elections, where we'd only budgeted $3,200 for a line item on that versus we had an expense of $8,205.40. We'd ask the council to make an adjustment against the overall budget of $5,005.40.
Second.
Motion made by Gene and second by Matt to adjust the budget for the Hall County elections to the tune of $5,005.30. Any more discussion? All in favor of decreasing? All opposed? Okay. That's approved too, yes. But that's one that caught us by surprise, and one 33 weeks early voting on it.
Yes. So the next item is, we had a chance to meet with Human Resources. They may want to comment on a number of items today, a correction officer, prisoner vehicle replacement, planning project director, as well as a couple of, they want to take all that at one
Which
time.
y'all want to talk about?
Talk about it. Yeah, the HR committee met Friday. And there were several recommendations. One was to forego the corrections officer, and one was to hire 2 employees. And then we had some lengthy discussion about what would probably be best for the city at this time, considering the budget. And we felt like going forward with the correction officer and hiring an additional city service 1 employee. Reason why we decided that was if we hire 2 employees, we get 2 employees. But if we hire a corrections officer, we get 3 additional employees at no cost to the city. Plus, we are requesting an additional position. So in essence, we're going, instead of hiring 2 employees, we're hiring 2 employees and getting 5 employees. So we felt like that was the best decision for the city.
Is it all said? I agree. We need to act on that, I guess, don't we?
You need a motion.
Get a motion to approve the city services 1 position. But the other,
Right.
the correction officer was already budgeted.
Right. corrections officer is already budgeted, it's just a
I
vacation.
make a motion to approve the civil service one position.
Motion made by Gene Bradley to approve this. And that's seconded. Anybody else want to talk to them about it? All right, let's vote on everything, yes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say you. We'll see if you're awake. All right, prisoner replacement vehicle.
So the council had identified $27,000. We had stepped away from that number until we, got confirmation from council that they were replacing that position, so we will hit the ground running.
Did you get those?
Sir?
Did you get those pictures and?
Yes.
I don't know if it'll work for you now, but. Probably not.
I wish we had time to do it.
That's your expertise, not mine.
Wish it was.
Okay, the plan project director. We're gonna meet about that this month.
We met about it, I think we just discussed it, whether we wanted to move forward with it. Consensus in HR committee that it was a needed position to help with.
Yeah, if he didn't retire someday.
Well, it takes the burden off of Dennis, I mean, he can't do everything, and plus, this is a position, especially with all the zoning, requirements, zoning requests coming in, things like that.
And it's already been advertised, is that
Right,
correct?
it's already moved.
Yeah,
Okay. We got any more updates on that one?
we're continuing the interview process, so as soon as we get some viable candidates, we'll bring that back to human resources.
Okay. Water Stewart, Dennis, I'll keep you with us. We want approval for this, haven't we?
So this is probably a good time to say, gosh, we luck up with the storm that we had just come through, and we had some problems. I don't think anybody knew about them, but, they were resolved, but I mean, as bad as the ice was and the wind was, we're very fortunate, so we're very appreciative of our staff too, so that's what I'm saying. Plant-wise, operational-wise, we didn't miss a beat. The wastewater assistant position, y'all want to speak to that?
I think we've approved it.
It's already been approved, you just reaffirmed that
We're just
position.
taking applications now.
Right.
That's, case by one, that's a third employee at the wastewater treatment plant, help offset, giving us some time off.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can, well, talk about weekend.
Oh, yeah, and weekend coverage too. Okay.
So that's gonna make the city hiring 3 new people.
Yeah, two of them had been hired, one had been hired previously already, and he got replaced, or he's getting replaced. So now you got two new
Three?
positions.
There's only one additional new, that the other 3 were already approved in prior year. I mean, we had already, several months ago, we already approved.
Okay. On this S&S septic hollering request, I don't have the update handy.
So I've got, we talked about this last week, I don't know, I've copied everybody on all the information we have. So, you have, on top of, you have 3 options available to you, and each one of those options has, opportunities or options then. We talked about location, we talked about labor, we talked about, capital costs, as well as revenue. So, it's probably, what I said last week, to give it its fair due, maybe that's best. If the council would like me at the work session to talk about that specific item, because it's pretty convoluted, I mean, admittedly.
It turned out, it sounded real simple to start, and all of a sudden it mushroom noise. We're trying to work it out the best we can, if you understand.
Anything better than nothing, so I'm with you. As far as it goes,
It's part of the special work session, is that gonna be an extra work session, or can
Yes.
it a longer work session?
That's one that I would suggest you give it all its time, so everybody
So
understands.
let's schedule that and get a note and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
So that, when's a good time for everybody to do that, February or March? see, today is the 18th. Well, we normally have work session on Mondays, so. And the 14th is regular work session. You want to try to do it before the work session, or you after it? It's gonna take a little time.
Do it the 7th.
You start with 7th, is that what you said? That's
Just
what,
that.
that's what I was gonna do, I'm just about to do it next Monday on 24th, it's the 7th, okay? The schedule was 7th at 6 o'clock now. No objection to that?
That was February 7th, correct?
Yes.
And you say 6 or 7?
I meant 6, did I say that? I might say 7.
Yeah.
Go to 6, yeah.
All right.
Alright. Zoning and annexation, this is some more stuff that's,
Can you speak a little louder, please?
I'm sorry. That's one problem I have, I don't talk real loud. This Norton development thing is back in front of us, I don't think anybody knows about it or not. And I'm gonna try to do the best I can with this. This is the one that came in early, spring last year. It started off, originally started off at 46 units, and we dropped it down to 36 units, and went down to 30 units. And council had proposed possibly 24 units, that's when we would do an application, and we revised it. Now he's come back with 19 units on the same property. In case anybody doesn't know, it's a property over here on Wall Street, right, Mordecai's across. Yep, Mordecai, in case y'all don't know. But he's come back now with a plan for 19 units on that property. And,
Is there a diagram?
only thing I have in front of me is his picture. That's all I have in front of me.
So we have the plat information that it's under review, so, Joe, you may want to speak to that process.
I have a question. Has the city explored any other opportunities for that property?
Not as much, because he owns that property.
Who does?
Norton.
Oh, yeah, Mordecai owns.
No, Norton owns it.
He owns the total?
He owns
I
it.
thought it was somebody else.
No, he owns it.
So the whole,
4 acres on it,
I
yeah.
was thinking that since you're condemning those three houses on Maiden,
On Oxnard Street.
the south, eliminate that street and have a developer come in and develop some commercial stuff, little shops and stuff like that. Lula is just not gonna be able to grow certain ways, and that would be a good place for the start. I would say instead of rentals, get something commercialized.
We don't control the property, so there's, it's at the mercy of the person.
He owns it.
Could you throw the idea out to Norton, Mr. Norton? No?
You can.
I can, well,
He's into this already, so I think he's gonna be.
but y'all don't think that, I mean, when you get more
Well,
revenue?
I think the attorney can shed some light. We've had a number of conversations through their attorneys, and it's specific to what they want the property used for. And it's one of those that, and Joey's gonna speak to that. It's one of those, what does the law allow? And we actually are in our fifth draft right now, where, but we've said early on, he's gonna end up satisfying the plats. And, that may, I understand that may be sensitive to everybody, but, we can't force his hand. If he satisfies the law, and
Well, I
Joe's gonna
understand
speak to
it, but, cities should approach him with the idea of maybe he can develop into commercial. If you can close, Maiden, from Athens to 51, give him extra land there. And if that.
Mayor, the property owner has submitted a plat. The plat meets your zoning requirements, and that's what Dennis is speaking of, is that there were several areas that we needed to address regarding the plat. The city has ordinances that address plat. And then then the actual plan or development is a separate matter. And the next issue that would come up would be application for building permits, which is going to require the owner, yes, to submit a very specific plan, providing parking. It also meets your zoning requirements and your other ordinances, and then each building permit. Because they're gonna need utilities, water, sewer, and the other requirements of your ordinance. This is merely the plat. The plat does meet the zoning for the property. We had some issues about making sure that the utilities and any access was private. So they'll have to get internal easements, because it's divided into 19 lots. So any of those matters will not be the responsibility of the city and would only be the responsibility of the owner. There's also current structures on the property, including Mordecai's home. It is shown on a page of the plat. We have specified to the owner that any setback will also apply to the existing house as long as there is a lease to any party who has an interest in the property. And I'm telling you all that because if a utility line came too close to the house or had to go under the house, they wouldn't get the utilities, therefore it wouldn't be able to proceed with development. My point is, this is merely the plat for the property that they're requesting to be approved. It meets the legal requirements. Therefore, I see, Mr. Mayor, you have no alternative except to approve it. But if they come back and want to modify it, they'll have to go through this process again. And as to the gentleman's point about development, actual development of the property, they'll have to come back. The owner will have to submit applications for each building permit on that property, and would have to get approval from the city for utility lines to be on that property. And if in the course of that process, the developer realizes there are issues and it cannot be developed as they suggest pursuant to the plat, then there's certainly opportunities for the city to open negotiations with the owner. So those opportunities are not foreclosed, but right now, all that's before the council is the plat itself. You have a separate ordinance that addresses what the requirements are for your plat.
So basically, the plat says he drew it out where it fits our laws. He hasn't built it yet, but he drawn it out, it fits. That's all number one?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you know the next road that, where the underpass is next down, and what's that road called right there, with it's falling in?
Mill Street?
The next road down, can you put, on Red Road Avenue down through there, can you put stabilization on Norton? The reason why is because he's gonna build these 19 houses in here, and it's gonna clog up, you know, that side, they can't come across because of the train. We already discussed about the train stopping. Now, that road that Lou's gotta fix, it's falling off. Maybe we could suggest him to help out with his little community he putting over there, by putting the red road crossing back over there and make the train where he can stop before he gets there, where people can come across, and also the ambulances.
We could have done that if we had let him rezone it to plan development, but since we stopped that, we have no recourse to put any conditions on the property.
Well, you know, for his safety of his little community, he put,
As long as he meets the zoning requirements, there's nothing we can say to this.
is there any way we can work on that, and then also get the train.
We could have let him rezone it to plan development, but that's too late, man.
Well, the people spoke then and they didn't know.
I know, but see, now they're requesting everything that you want to put stipulations on, but you can't. So,
Well, it's down 19 instead of 40.
Right.
That's a lot of difference.
He reduces it.
But I think the building was full of people that did not want it.
Okay, so it's gonna be up to Lula and get safe things for the people that try.
I get it, I get it. I understand.
That's a separate issue. Right. Somebody, Cindy's already looking at that problem.
Maybe we can work it out.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to interrupt, and I think I'm out of line in interrupting. But isn't the council supposed to work these things out, and there's a comment section at the beginning and the end instead of this? Because this is very unorganized, and I think that I don't know if you're allowing this to happen, I think you're supposed to have the comment section at the beginning and the end. Is that correct?
According to what?
According to your, right,
The agenda.
the agenda. You vote on that agenda. You vote to accept that agenda. It says public comment at the beginning and end, correct?
That's what it says.
Okay.
I like to hear people speak whenever they can speak.
Okay, so
That's
you,
my personal opinion.
oh, I don't have a problem with that. Do you think maybe then you need to write correct agenda
We go back to the
or
agenda.
find a way of how people do get to speak?
You just spoke. I let you speak.
I'm just trying to address the issue.
Okay,
Point of order.
all right. I'll take it into consideration. I guess I'll get my book back.
I can help you with that.
I think y'all will find it. First admitted. Okay. So the plat's got to be signed.
It meets the ordinance. Dennis has put it on here because he knew it was a topic of
Right.
concern, but there is no, unless
Right.
council, based upon the comments that you've heard, believes it's necessary for you to vote on it, otherwise your ordinance. Correct.
I think we're tied in. Like I said, he made it fit on paper. So there's not much we can do about that. All right, Hudson River request for variance. I think Bill's here. What they want to do, we've already heard a public hearing on this one. And, matter of fact, I think they heard this first, didn't they?
Yes.
And, they want to get a variance to a 365 quarters order. To not have to, explain to people, not have to break off more sides of it is.
Yeah, so, for clarity, there were two requests. One was, so, and y'all got to see these, anybody want additional copy? Refresh yourselves, we'll be doing that. So it's interesting, let me flip to one page here. This page kind of tells everything. This is the existing building that's there right now, and they're wanting to build an adjacent building directly across from it. Both, all the truck feeds would be on the interior. So the request to the applicant, in the simplest terms, were not to have to meet the requirement that would finish under the 365 gateway corridor, the interior of those truck bays. So that was the request. If I'm not mistaken, Bill, both the ends of the building were originally in question, but y'all have agreed to finish both ends of the building. So that is the question brought forward in the simplest terms. But you add to it.
No.
So the recommendation from the planning commission, because this is the first time that this has been brought forward under the 365 gateway corridor, they would want to hear your comments on that. So the option is available to express, you heard from the applicant last week about the expense he had. You also heard that they've been actually working on this since, actually, I had a set of plans right there for the grading back in 2020, but the plans were submitted, and we approved 365 gateway corridor in May of 21. So they expressed to you the expense that they would incur, so it's subject to the council. From a planning perspective, I'm going to catch 22 because I often have to go, what's on paper? So what's on paper would say the building would be finished on all four sides. But that's subject, that's just a matter of recommendation, no different from what you're hearing from the planning commission. So what serves the best interest of the community as well as the development? Any questions for me? I point out to you that the color scheme that was proposed is very similar to the exterior finish on the front and sides of the building. Is that not correct? So, you don't have any more questions for me?
So, point of clarity.
Yep.
The request is to follow the guidance of the core 365 corridor on the ends and the one side.
Right, the front of the building and the rear of the building where the truck loading would be, would not adhere to the requirements. So that would be the variance.
I'd like to make a motion to let him go ahead.
Motion made by Darren Smith and seconded by T. Brown. Approve the variance order overlay to the Hudson River builder building that's. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. You got your business. Thank you. Appreciate that. And y'all do a good job for us too. Here's another one that's coming at us, and got here yet.
So on this item, which is 5C, the new proposed annexation rezoning by Cook Properties, I reported to council last week that requires us to send notice to Hall County government in response to the anticipated annexation. We've done it. And they were supposed to get back with us after the 13th, which I have not. I was going to look at Joey and say, did you hear anything?
No.
I bet he didn't. And so the law doesn't require them to respond. It would have been nice. I did have conversation with them that they wanted to take it to the full commission to get any comments, if at all. So, I will validate tomorrow, have a comment somewhere probably in the mail, but it doesn't appear that they're going to raise a bona fide objection to that annexation. Consequently, we'll turn the application over to Mr. Holman. He'll set the dates and times for all the meetings, if that's the case, and we'll copy the full council who will first go to the planning commission.
That's right, this hasn't been there yet, has it?
No, it has not. Nobody has a copy of the application because we don't consider it one until we've heard back from the county.
Planning commission recommendations, planning commission suggestion that council look at some properties, because some of them don't match, they're not doing what they're zoned as. 166 of them, is that right?
There are.
A lot of work for us. The council's gonna have to sit down and look at that and zone all that. So that's on the upcoming agenda this year.
So what would happen if the council wants to go forward with that? This is all about Joey. So, because it is a lot to say right there, so it might be best if we cut that in half. Because we want to hear public comment from everybody and give them ample amount of time. So first that go in front of the planning commission as one series, and then that matured and the recommendation came for approval or denial, that would eventually find its way back to the council. So it's probably, Joey, a 3-month process and then an additional 3 months. So you probably 6 months from now, we could potentially finish this. It's only been that way forever.
Process will more closely resemble if you ever are, one of your classes, a citywide zoning is what you'll hear at the training classes, and it will the individual zonings that you hear. But Dennis is right, we will select a number of parcels or select a dividing line, and then advertise and bring all of that before you, and it'll be a fairly lengthy ad in the newspaper as we describe what's being done. But I would suspect, assuming y'all want to move forward, we would be able to present it to the planning commission in either March or April, and then after the meeting, first Tuesday of the month, we would have it on your regular agenda, third Monday of the month.
And this new variance request in Oakley Highway, I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but she came in here last year.
Right.
Wanting to renovate those properties into 4 apartments.
Duplex.
Duplexes. The property down, old Daniel Store in Oakley House, in case y'all don't know what it is. So, but she come back now and said that, do you have the plans?
We do, and that goes forward to the planning commission. Joey's assigning dates for that, so it'll be heard for the first time by the planning commission in February. He'll set the public hearings as well, probably be posted and advertised. And then eventually, once the recommendation comes for approval or denial, that'll come back to the full council for consideration.
Currently scheduled for February 1st and February 21st. The hearing before y'all on the 21st.
You've already advertised for the planning commission seat, is that correct?
And I've got 2 applications, by the way, it's also on the website, you can pull applications down there. That's for the 2 that I've got, so, and trust me, there'll be ample amount. Matter of fact, we set out 15 back here. Somebody took them, so you're holding on to them, bring them on.
Now, here's another, I guess Joey's gonna handle this one. Proposed ordinance adopted for urban camping and homeless issues. So, it's on next agenda, right?
Yes, sir. Dennis, I understood, handed y'all a copy of Gainesville's model ordinance. I will customize that if y'all want to move forward with that issue and bring it to you for your work session in February. Go ahead and advertise for hearings if that's something y'all want to pursue. Otherwise, I bring it to you at a work session, and if you understood it, were satisfied, then I would proceed with ads in your public hearing.
Let's see your copy.
Yeah, so for clarity, I did not copy on Gaines, it's 2-page. But what we mentioned last week or, during the work session is this doesn't surprise us at all. If the community adopts a program, we have to adopt a similar program, otherwise we open the floodgates. So let Joey make those corrections where it reflects the city of Lula, and, you know, y'all will have those prior to the next work session.
Yes.
Okay. Code enforcement. Any comments?
So we don't, I mean, y'all were gonna meet, you tried to meet, but we're gonna meet later in the week, so we don't have any action on that, I believe.
We're gonna be on Friday, I think, what we said, wasn't it?
Right.
Now, any other committee comments about anything? That was it, wasn't it? All right, city appointments. We nominated Matt and Mayor Pro Tem. Did we ever vote on that? That's all right, okay. So Matt Ham has been nominated to be Mayor Pro Tem.
Anybody else?
Anybody want the job? Guess I'll listen to the motion to let Matt be Mayor Pro Tem. That's an appointment. I do that without a motion, can't I?
You could take all those items, if you want to lump them together, you can take each one individually.
And their appointments too, right?
Yes, their appointments and the council would take action.
Right. You can designate the
Okay, all right, let's just go on one time. Then. We'd like to see Matt as Mayor Pro Tem, Joey, Tammy, the city clerk. There's another, that's a different one right there. Need to change that one, though, the city judge.
do the same thing.
Okay, is this same thing? Judge Hammond Law, then Dennis is city manager. Anybody want to change any of these or do anything else? Talk more about them? I'll listen. For a motion. To make a motion to go ahead with it. All of them. All of them. Here, second? Motion made by Garnet Smith, second by Gene Bramlett, to accept all the appointments for this year. Any more discussion? We're voting to. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Y'all got your jobs. Congratulations.
Mayor, you were on city judge. I did send y'all a proposed contract, and that's strongly recommended from Georgia Municipal Association.
That was my question.
And if y'all didn't have time to review that, understand, then I can submit it to Hammond and bring that back in February. If you prefer that, or you can go ahead and decide whether you're satisfied with the proposed contract that I submitted to you.
We'll look at that.
Okay. Get that too. And then I'll bring it back.
Okay. The Lula Ladies Gathering is at the depot at 26. It's lunch at 12 and dinner at 6:30. And Doodle Bell Historical Society is Monday, the fourth Monday, which is coming Monday, the 24th.
Yeah.
At 6 o'clock. Any more citizen comments? Yes, sir.
Okay, on the judges, now this was brought up, you know, Rob Black, with all the citizens of the people. And, y'all can venture out to use Alcoa judge, county judges also. So, before you redo any contracts with him and laws, that's something you think would be on your bills. And, the code enforcement officer, I think he has one problem where he's scared to go do his job on a citizen. So, you know, I'm running his issue up about 3 times. Now, there's a good man right down the road here that he used to be a law enforcement officer for Oakwood and Gainesville. He'd make you pretty daggone good. We make you an extra good hand of being the law enforcement officer. You deal with the people down, you know, who like to hang around at the late night. That would be pretty good to have too.
Appreciate that. Anybody else? All right, council, got any comments?
Thank everybody for coming.
Glad to see everybody survived the snowstorm. Anyway, yeah.
This January.
Apparently, we're getting another one this weekend, so.
All right. I found out tonight that Jim is recording these meetings, and he's posting on a Facebook page called Lula News. Is that correct, Jim? So y'all, if y'all on Facebook, be sure to look it up. It's also on Mayor Joe Thomas's page.
Well, will be posted on the Lulu page.
Oh, it's not yet. For Little City Hall page, it won't be yet, because I don't have access, and,
People who don't have Facebook.
yeah, that's something else, you know. For people, I like to find out some way to get in touch with everybody. Not everybody does Facebook, you're right. Not everybody does internet, so the website's not.
I do it.
Yeah, everybody has a very mail, because it's quite a bit for the city. That's expensive for the city. I'm trying to find some way, maybe an email newsletter, but I never probably get everybody's email address. So if y'all can work with us and get us the information where we can get in touch with y'all. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, you can take the link from the YouTube. Even if you're not on YouTube, send that link out to everyone. All they've got to do is hit on that link. It'll take them to the video. They don't have to be a member of YouTube.
He's correct, if you create a link.
It automatically, we do it, so it automatically generates the link as soon as you start recording, as soon as you upload it. And that link then can be sent out in an email, and anybody can just copy and paste that into their browser. It's gonna shoot them right to that video. They don't have to be on YouTube to watch it. All they have to do is have the means to watch it.
They still got to get internet access to YouTube.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yep.
They don't have to have YouTube, though.
They don't have, no, but you have internet access.
Yeah, well, they have to have internet access to get on the first page, so.
Right. But what I'm saying, there's people in town that don't have it. I'm trying to how to get to those people.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. The ones that have internet, the ones that have Facebook, they're easy to get over. But the other folks have to look for it and find it. Or somebody got to get it to them. That's my dilemma right now. How to solve that problem. I'm not the world's smartest guy. But anybody else got anything else to say? Okay, we're going to adjourn to executive session. We got some man managers, so we're gonna look at it. I thank y'all for coming.
We didn't vote either.
Oh. Sorry about that.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for land acquisition.
Motion made for the council going to executive session for land acquisition on that, second for Garnet. Any more? Y'all all in favor of that? All opposed? No? we will adjourn to executive session, making decisions. We'll go back in regular, is that correct?
Yes.
Like 10 minutes. 10 minutes.